Hello and welcome to an all-new Marvel Cast, Explosion Network's hub of all things Marvel. A place to talk about everything MCU and beyond, from Avengers and Defenders to Suspiria and Roast Kugel. I'm Ashley Hobley, and helping me execute this episode is the astonishing Dylan Blight.
To be here talking about one of John Travolta's many weird projects.
He was definitely mix it up at this point in time. Today we're talking about Punisher 2004. So let's dive straight in. Please be aware we'll be fairly discussing anything and everything about plot themes and the movie, so if you haven't watched it, come back later. With that said, let's talk about The Punisher.
The future. The future was something my family would never see. They thought they murdered me. They were wrong. They were dead wrong.
That man must die.
Do it!
Don't let your memories kill you.
They can't kill me. I'm already dead.
Released April 16th, 2004. Directed by Jonathan Hensleigh. Written by Michael France and Jonathan Hensleigh. Starring Thomas Jane, John Travolta, Will Patton, Roy Scheider, Laura Harring, Ben Foster, and Rebecca Romijn. The family of Frank Castle, an FBI agent, is slaughtered by a corrupt businessman who has ties with the underworld. Determined to kill the man and rid the world of evil, he becomes a vigilante. Dylan, what did you think of Punisher 2004?
I think it's fine. I mean, I enjoyed it when I watched it when it first came out. There was an element of I enjoyed Thomas Jane's Punisher, and there's the oddity of just John Travolta just hamming it up a bit. And there's like a enjoyableness to it that I remember liking when it first came out, and sort of fun half now, I'd say. I think I enjoyed the half. The first half of the movie I enjoyed. I actually think it gets worse in its second half, is what I would say. Once he sort of starts going on the hunt a bit more, it loses a bit of its steam, especially as it heads towards the wrap-up ending. I mean, it sort of gets a little bit silly at times, to be honest, even like the whole killing him all with the cars exploding and making the Punisher skull. I'm like, we weren't at that level. That wasn't this movie. I didn't think that was this movie. But, it's got some decent characters and performances. There's the group with Ben Foster and Mystique and stuff are all another dude. I enjoy their presence. I enjoy the thing. Thomas Jane's good. The whole setup's fun. There's some good, decent action scenes, decent car chase. It's got a mix of stuff. It's well known that the budget for this was constantly sort of cut, and you can tell that there's potentially a lot of these scenes were much larger in idea than they ever got to shoot. And what they shot was like the budget constrained versions of how they get there. But yeah, it's okay. It's not something I would watch again, really, ever. It's just like, I probably would have never watched again unless I was doing this. But yeah, it was fine.
Okay. I liked it. This is one I have a bit of weird nostalgia for. I definitely had a DVD copy of this from Asia, if you can read between the lines.
Yeah.
So I've watched this a few times, and I mean, it's probably been up like at least 10, 15 years before I've watched it, but I appreciated that this one, at least in comparison to last week's, this one was more straightforward for the character. And now that we've had more interpretations of the Punisher, it's like you can understand why, you can appreciate how they tackled it here, which I feel like was closer to what we expect than definitely the Dolph Lundgren version. Yes, John Travolta really hamming it up. I enjoyed the little crew that he has assembled, like the bunch of neighbors that he befriends, I guess, despite himself, I mean, the whole start is very tragic. His whole family is wiped out, like pretty much in front of him, even if though some of it's kind of shot ridiculously. Like, really, they drove the car down a pier. They ran down a pier where a car was chasing them? That doesn't seem like it. At what point do you jump over the side to make sure you're not hit by the car? You know,
They drove all the way to the end of the pier and then did a 3-point turn to come back to.
they had to.
They didn't
They
just
couldn't just
back.
reverse. They couldn't reverse back. Too difficult. Okay, I have to say this. So watching this film, we've got the storyline, the storyline with the second in command, where Thomas Jane tries to convinces John Travolta, the second man, played by Will Patton, is sleeping his wife, but he's actually gay. Movie progressive, for its time.
No, that's a bad storyline because it's just treating
not openly.
He's not openly.
A gay man in a Marvel movie, Dylan. They said it's never been done, but yet it's here.
It's actually a terrible storyline. It's part of the movie that doesn't hold up. It's literally the Punisher sort of sees a gay man in hiding and decides that he will use his closeted homosexuality against him and the person he's trying to take down, and uses it to make sure that the closeted homosexual is then killed by the straight man.
But he's not killed. The Punisher's not getting him killed because he is a homosexual.
Well, technically.
No, he wants him dead because he's John Travolta's best friend.
Well, yes, but he also, yeah, I don't know what the term would be, but it feels like it'd fall into the term of fridging or something, but I don't know. But yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't think it was a good...
Not a groundbreaking moment in your opinion?
They do something similar to this in one of the James Bond movies as well, actually, and that it doesn't hold up well in that one either. Where they do something against someone, use his gay secret against him. I can't remember which one though. I think it was Timothy Dalton one.
All right, let's run through the plot from number one movie website, Wikipedia. An FBI bust of smuggling operation in Tampa results in the death of Bobby Saints, the son of mafia boss Howard Saint, and Otto Krieg, an arms dealer. However, Krieg's death was faked and is later revealed to be undercover FBI agent Frank Castle, who's on his final mission before retirement.
Whoa.
Well, it's always going to end in tragedy when you're about to retire. Enraged at the death of his son, Saint orders his men to learn everything they can about Krieg and acquires access by bribing corrupt federal law enforcement officers for his federal service history. Saint orders Castle to be killed at a family reunion in Puerto Rico, though Saint's wife, Livia, insists that Castle's family would be killed as well. At the reunion, Saint's men, including Saint's best friend Quinton Glass and Bobby's older brother John, kill Castle's entire family. Though Frank Castle Sr. takes down a multitude of the attackers, John then beats and shoots Castle, leaving him for dead. Castle survives, though, and is nursed back to health by Candelaria, a local fisherman. All there. I guess my first question is, how did he survive? Like, one, getting shot in the chest.
Because they did a terrible job of shooting him. A good hitman would have shot him in the head.
Like the one spot that he could survive in. Yeah. You know?
Good hitman would have shot him, once in the heart, once in the head, sort of.
Make sure. Unless they were like, yeah, we're going to let him burn on this.
They didn't even pour the gasoline on him. Yeah. They just pour it up to him.
Yeah. Oh, we don't want his corpse getting all oily.
I'll say that explosion when he goes flying, that was quite funny.
Yeah, that stuntman did a good job.
Yeah, he got yeeted.
Yeah. But yes, the car driving in the marina while they're running. Just
I'll tell you what. Also, I can't watch any scene like that without just thinking about the original Mad Max movie, which is the most traumatizing and darkest way I've ever seen a wife and child get killed. Run down. So this is a bad version of that.
Yeah. So with the police and the FBI unwilling to pursue the killers due to Saint's power and influence, Castle moves into an abandoned apartment occupied by three outcasts, Joan, Bumpo, and Spacker Dave, and begins his mission to bring the Saints down. Crazy casting here. You got Rebecca Romijn, who is, like you said, Mystique. The X-Men franchise is still going at the moment.
Yeah, but you can't tell. No one's going to know.
She constantly transforms into Rebecca Romijn every other movie.
Yeah. No, I still don't think anyone would tell. Also, but I don't know. Also, the only thing I'll say is they have her in blue all the time in this movie. And I'm not sure if that's just circumstance or a bit. Because, literally the first time she shows up in the movie, she has a blue dress on. She puts a blue hat on. I'm like, this is a joke.
Stokola.
The bloody stitch up is what it is. Classic stitch up.
Could be a classic stitch up. And fucking Ben Foster. I was like, immediately at first, I'm like, is that Aaron Paul? But no, it's Ben Foster.
Ben Foster, who would be an X-Men.
Who would be an X-Men.
Not yet, but a couple years ago.
Not yet. Playing the most pierced guy possible.
He's pierced in that movie too. For his back.
Yes. If you count wings as piercings.
Yeah.
Wings are not meant to be there.
Yeah.
All right. With the help of information provided by Saint's more friendly henchman, Mickey Duca, who volunteers to become Castle's inside man due to their shared hatred of the Saints, Castle studies the Saint family and learns their every move, during which he discovers Glass to be closeted homosexual. Castle openly attacks Saint's business and sabotages his partnership with his Cuban partners. Saint discovers that Castle is alive and sends assassins to kill him. The first assassin, Harry Heck, ambushes Castle on a bridge, but is killed when Castle fires a ballistic knife into his throat.
When you read it out loud, that's quite funny.
And Frank,
also, old mate is a bloody El Mariachi.
I mean, we'll get to that. Let me finish this. And Frank decides to take Heck's car as a prize. Yes, wild that I forgot exactly how that played out. So when he shows up with the guitar, I was like, does he shoot up the place? But no, he just sings a song for him to get in his head. It's all about mind games, I guess. But yes, very disappointing that the car that he's been working on this entire time, like getting the special bulletproof windshield and like the grate and stuff, destroyed like an errand.
But you could argue it was still worthwhile for him doing it because it saved his life.
That's true. It was a fact.
Yeah.
It did fulfill its purpose.
Yeah.
But it seems like that car could have been utilized further along the line. Also, his apartment is just a workshop. It's like,
Apparently, yeah.
I guess when you've got nothing to live for, you can just sleep in your chair.
It looks
All
like
that kind of
mine
stuff.
after every breakup I've had. That's what it looks like. Just a bottle of wild turkey and some hopes and dreams.
Yep. I mean, one of my favorite little moments is he pulls out a glass and the bottle and just drinks straight from the bottle.
What a man.
Why get a glass dirty? I did also, one scene I do remember fondly is the fake torture scene, I guess, with old mate, where he tells him the fire's going to be so hot it feels cold, and then you can just smell human meat. And he's
That's what they should have done
just
in
fucking with him.
the Iraq War instead of
Torturing
waterboarding.
him. Just trick people.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we up to? The second assassin, the Russian, nearly beats
I'm
Castle
sorry.
to death.
You just said Shashin.
The second assassin.
Shashin.
Second assassin, the Russian, nearly beats Castle to death in his own apartment, but Castle manages to kill him as well. Dylan is doing the
Too sweet.
too sweet, yes, because it is Kevin Nash, who, when he gets the hot liquid thrown on him and turns around with that crazy makeup shot,
He looks like the creature in the Goonies.
looks like Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, well, yeah. That too. This is a fun
I mean,
fight though.
It was a fun fight, set to like the Italian music or whatever. Fun setting. Obviously, this is right after, Castle has helped Joan with ex-boyfriends, and this crew of friends have decided to invite him to dinner, and he can't say anything he's thankful for except for dinner. These people are trying to connect with him, not having it, But yeah, the fight's really fun, going through all the rooms, trying to use all the implements to get him against him, Kevin Nash, like, booked to look really strong. Taking everything, knife, wrench. I will say, the one moment that I felt like a missed opportunity is he's getting his head smashed in the fridge, and there's like the glass bottle of milk there. You should have hit him with that at least. If you're setting it up right in the middle of the frame,
Didn't want to waste it.
what he wants it for later.
Yeah.
All right, if you say so. The tenants treat Castle's wounds and hide him in his elevator as Saint's men arrive for him. When Dave and Bumpo refuse to reveal Castle's hideout, Glass tortures Dave by plucking each of his piercings with pliers, but still gets no results. They leave one of their men to intercept Castle, but Castle kills him after they leave. Yeah, this is definitely one thing that stuck in my memory. The idea of the jewelry being ripped out of his face. We never fully see it, but your imagination fills in the gaps enough. that is pretty gruesome in my opinion.
Mm.
I'm sure you've watched movies where piercings and shit have been pulled out,
yeah.
but it was rough to watch. Right. With Mickey's help, Castle poses as an anonymous blackmailer and arranges for Glass to be at certain places while planting Livia's car in the same location and ultimately placing one of Olivia's earrings in Glass's bed. When Saint finds the earring, he stabs Glass to death. Olivia is confronted about the supposedly existing affair with Crinton, and despite her process that Glass was gay, Howard is steadfast as he throws Olivia off an overpass onto the railroad track, where she is run over by a train.
Yes, it's a lot.
It is a lot, but
It is toxic masculinity.
I mean, you don't think when a certain president is done with his immigrant wife, she's using her to throw from train tracks?
From train tracks, yeah, probably, to be honest, yeah. Wait, she's an immigrant? Have anyone told ICE? Can I see her birth certificate?
Yeah. Yeah, not much to say there other than, if only he'd asked more questions. That's it. Character flaw.
Yeah, classic man.
Classic man. Think they know all the answers.
Yep.
So they end up killing everybody.
Yep. And they're all the world leaders, everyone.
With Saint despondent, Castle attacks Saint's club, Saints and Sinners, and kills every member of his mob, including John. Howard escapes the building despite being wounded. Castle pursues him and shoots him in a duel. As Saint lies dying, Castle reveals his schemes that led Saint to kill his friend and wife. Castle ties Saint to a car and sends him into the club's parking lot, which is rigged with explosive. Saint perishes in the ensuing explosion. I think there's some fun action in here, and some fun bits, including him setting incredible use of mines. Mines underused in media, He's got them set up all over the place. I especially enjoyed the one he's tied to the champagne bottle because, no one's going to see that coming. And then him fucking with old mate.
I enjoyed all of it other than the skull.
Yes, I think the skull being in the
explosion, the fire.
Explosion.
Just a bit corny. And the movie
little bit corny.
The movie
because there's no way he would have planned that, and there's no way that it would possibly be a coincidence.
And the movie hadn't been super comic booky corny like that up until that point.
No.
So
well, I mean, anything involving the skull symbol, I think, has a tendency to be a little bit corny.
No, I just think
him finding the shirt for the first time on the beach, abandoned. I will say one thing I really didn't like this time watching it back. So I feel like the score is a terrible fit for this movie, especially when it's he's trying to force these triumphant moments, trying a big fanfare, which doesn't, in my mind, fit with the Punisher. That was one thing that kind of irked me. But yeah, I also feel like we could have had more time of Saint dealing with his friend and wife, him killing his husband, his friend and wife. It's you tell him right before he's going to die. It's you could have give us a little, give a little time for it to sink in first.
Isn't it crazy also that the antagonists and protagonists shared all of what seemed like 30 seconds on screen together?
Yeah, probably. It was that duel, which why do you need that at all? Just shoot him. Also, to me, I was watching him getting dragged by the car. I'm like, is he dead yet? Is he dead yet?
No. The whole time he's screaming.
Oh, okay. He's on fire now. He's probably not going to survive this.
No.
And then
he's doing the classic Austin Powers thing where he's on fire. Ah! Silent for a second. I'm still alive. Ah! Bomb goes off. I'm still alive in here. Ah!
Good times, yeah. Returns home and prepares to kill himself with his mission fulfilled, but decides to continue to seeing a vision of his wife. Castle leaves some of Saint's money as a farewell gift to the tenants, but for protecting him, and is seen standing alone on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge at sunset. In a voiceover, Castle assumes the new identity of Punisher and vows to kill any criminal who harms innocent people in any way.
Insert metal track.
Yes, insert, I guess, what was considered metal in 2004.
Early 2000s. Insert new metal track.
I don't know. I feel like the almost killing himself didn't work.
No,
maybe there needed to be more substantive flashbacks or rather than just one shot of his wife holding her hand up. It's is that going to be the thing that turns you back?
Also-
I appreciate them doing it because I feel like that's true to the character, that he
Mm.
would have wanted to kill himself after finishing his mission, but yeah, it didn't quite click. Anything else you want to talk about from this movie? Were there any other favorite moments?
I mean, the Kevin Nash fight was my favorite
Mm.
thing, I think, from the movie. I think if I was to fix the ending, I think I would have, like, you cut from the Punisher logo in the fire to the tenants roaming around a bit talking, and then you do the longer monologue of him, and then like intercut that with him, them opening the money, and then the monologue sort of continues, and then you catch up to him on the bridge, and then I am the Punisher. But the monologue would him be going, I Thursday forward. I thought my one mission would end with me wanting to kill myself, but da, 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would be better.
I will say it's interesting seeing some of the reviews at the time of the film. Where was it?
What are we? Post Spider-Man 1, post Spider-Man, X-Men 2,
Yeah,
Blade
probably
as well,
Yeah.
I think.
that too. So yeah, it's got a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh no, 25% positive, I guess. 4.6 on Metacritic. A good cast fails to elevate this overtly violent and by the numbers revenge flick. That's fair. Robert Ebert gave the film 2 stars, stating, "The Punisher is so grim and cheerless, you wonder if even its hero gets any satisfaction from his accomplishments." That's kind of the point, right? He's meant to be a grim and cheerless person. His family
Yeah.
died, Roger.
I don't think that was actually written by him, surely.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting because I feel like they kind of nail the tone of the Punisher for at least Thomas Jane does, but admittedly there is some like rote and silly stuff in there as well. So
I think he looks very weird with the jet black hair, though. I don't think it suits him. It's part of the...
Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Should have kept the blonde from the start of the movie.
Well, that's his natural hair, isn't it?
Don't think so. Let's have a look. One movie source, Wikipedia, has
Yeah, hair
him
color.
with black hair, so with graying sideburns at the moment. So, all right. Let's know what you thought of The Punisher from 2004 by finding us on social media by going to explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you want to help us out here at All New Marvelcast, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars, or just tell people about the show. And if you want to help us out at Explosion Network with all our other news, reviews, podcasts, written content, head over to explosionnetwork.com/supports. Thank you very much for listening. Be sure to watch Punisher Warzone and join us next time for another All New Marvelcast.